And welcome back, YouTube. Oh yeah, I'm oversharing today. I enjoy days like this, though. I just kind of walk around, handle errands, and it's actually nice to walk. It's absolutely beautiful out today, and not too much traffic around, and the timing on the few buses that I've rode has actually been really good. But yeah, for me living in what is allegedly one of the least walkable cities in the United States, I'm handling my business pretty well on foot, and that feels good. So it's 11:23 a.m. Saturday, February 5th, 2022. Just finished off at the post office. Got that album shipped. It's going to Springfield, Missouri. It's a soundtrack to Trolls World Tour, which I have not heard. I'd kind of like to hear it, though. It's mostly Justin Timberlake. It's also got Sia on it, which are both artists that I enjoy. So, kind of kicking myself in the butt. I had two different editions of that in stock. One was a Target exclusive, which is on, I believe, white vinyl. And then the other one, which I had two copies of in stock, was the Walmart exclusive, which is on, I think, translucent blue vinyl. And I mean, color vinyl is color vinyl. I don't really have a preference of white or blue, whatever. They're both cool. Color vinyl's cool. But what I didn't realize until I pulled them off the shelf, I'm like, oh, I have two different editions of this. I better check my seller app and make sure I'm sending them the right one. And come to find out, the Target edition has 3 additional tracks that the Walmart edition doesn't have, which I think are exclusive to that vinyl edition. I don't think those 3 songs are part of the streaming version, and I don't think they're part of the CD release either. So, yeah, I definitely enjoy collecting stuff like that, and unfortunately, that's the one that I sold. So I have 2 of the other edition left. Had I realized that, I would have listed the other edition for sale. Of course, the question is, would that have sold? I don't know. But yeah, I sold it, and I wasn't going to cancel the guy's order. So got that shipped. Yay. Right now, my eBay total is the lowest it's been. My 90-day total is the lowest it's been in a long time. Right now, I'm only showing $307 in sales for the last 90 days. But, I mean, I haven't really put hardly any effort into my eBay stuff at all this month, and I really didn't put much into it last month. This month has been mostly just focused on Amazon. I mean, I've been working my ass off the last 2 weeks there. And then the couple weeks before that was mostly focused on, doing the stuff I needed to do online, and then going through the I don't even know, it feels weird saying interview process, because honestly, I feel like I spent more time with a swab in my mouth for a drug test than I did in any kind of actual interview. But what ended up taking the most time was trying to get my damn shoes purchased. And then there was a lot of virtual paperwork to complete, which I honestly, I mentioned, yeah, you just drove right in front of me, thanks. I had mentioned earlier today on one of these vlogs that this particular gig at Amazon is not one of the ones that, because Adam and I, my job developer through the mental health clinic, has helped me apply for several jobs. In fact, there was one I remember him helping me apply for that I was really excited at the potential of, right before Christmas, with a company called FTR. And and my plan with that was I was going to try to see if I could go talk to Ken, who runs the electronic records department for the Maricopa County Superior Court. He's been a friend of mine for many, many years, but I haven't really talked to him much in the last, I've maybe talked to him 2 or 3 times in the last decade. I just haven't had any reason to go up there and get electronic records from him, and have just happenstance just kind of run into him a couple of times downtown. But I was kind of thinking about going up there and just talking to him and seeing, hey, can you kind of put in a word with me, with the people at FTR? Because I would imagine he's got some strong sway with them. But at this point, I feel so happy with Amazon. I don't really feel any need to pursue that. Although I would like to kind of go say hi to Ken regardless, because thinking about that has reminded me how I just haven't stayed in touch with Ken, and Ken is a cool guy that I really enjoyed talking to a lot. It's not very often. In fact, I can't think of anybody else I've ever met, ever, who has such a strong overlap in interest of legal proceedings and court proceedings and law, and also audio video formats and recording technology. Like that's 2 things that I'm very extremely interested in, and where those where those interests overlap. And I mean that's what Ken does. And I mean, not only is his job, but after the many conversations I've had with him, he's very, very interested in it. And but yeah, we had some great conversations about everything in between. And yeah, I should still get some little hang time downtown. Maybe one of these times when I'm doing my transfer from whatever local disaster I take from home. I should hit the button. Whatever local disaster I take from home to stop your truck, dude. Whatever local disaster I take from home to the rapid bus, which I take from Central Station over to Amazon. These days I should try to get there a couple hours early and pop into his office and say hi. It's been a long time. So anyway, last video cut off. I have no idea why. I checked it, and I think the camera app just crashed. It does that sometimes. Not out of space. I don't even think it was the fake out of space error, because usually when that happens, I can still, there's a pop-up. I just looked down and the whole app was gone. I was on my desktop. So, yeah, I was just explaining about how as I walked across the crosswalk with a don't walk signal, because that one had a button, and without me getting there before the light changed, I would have to wait an entire cycle of the light at 48th and Van Buren, which to me seems asinine. I should have to, there's a green light. Everybody should be allowed to go, including pedestrians. Pedestrians shouldn't have to wait an extra cycle of the light because he wasn't there before the change to hit a button. But that's how that one's configured. So I just went. Obviously, when I'm going against the light like that, I'm got my head on a swivel and I'm watching. But I'm still in a crosswalk on a green light, so not so far-fetched to expect people shouldn't be mowing me down. And I didn't have a problem with people mowing me down. I actually had an exact opposite problem of some guy with a green light who had the right-of-way, who was just sitting there not moving. And he was sitting there not moving long before I was in front of him in the crosswalk. And I think he was sitting there not moving because he was yielding to the person turning left. And I always hate that, especially when I'm the guy turning left. Where I most encounter that situation is actually not at a stoplight. When I'm driving, where I most encounter that is when I'm coming out of my alley and I turn right to go north on 46th Street. And 46th Street has a stop sign. It stops both directions, four-way intersection, at 46th Street and Oak. I really wish they turned that into a four-way stop. Sometimes people on Oak, even though they don't have a stop sign, they do stop. They treat it like a four-way stop because it kind of looks like it should be a four-way stop. And there's enough traffic in both directions to justify it being a four-way stop. But anyway, what frequently happens is I'll be headed north on 46, where I drive that half block, then turning left on Oak, going towards 44th, often actually going to 40th or points even farther west. And there will be somebody at the stop sign directly opposite me that is either going straight or turning right. And they will sit there waiting for me to go. Person going straight or turning right always has the right of way over somebody turning left. Unless, of course, that person's got a red light and the person turning left has a green arrow. Duh. But all things being equal, it seems like it should be common sense, but apparently a lot of drivers don't understand that. And the fact that you can take a driver's test in Arizona when you're 16, and then you don't have to do another damn thing, your driver's license good to 65th birthday. Yeah, it doesn't really test that drivers are still knowledgeable of things like right-of-way. But yeah, I've had it several times where I'm sitting there and the person in front of me isn't going, and it's obvious they're waiting for me to go, and I just won't. I absolutely won't. I will sit there as long as it takes for that person to pull his head out of his ass and realize that he has the right of way and he needs to go. Because if I go, and then for whatever reason that guy decides to jam on his gas and hits me, he had the right of way. I'll be technically at fault. I shouldn't have gone while he was sitting there. Not gonna do it. I'm a patient driver. I will wait as long as it takes. Oh wow, here comes the train. Very often I cross freight rails, even less often. Oh, that guy didn't make it. And he's in some kind of vehicle with lots of cameras, so he's backing up. He was already past the stop line. If I was him, I would have gunned it, but oh, look, and there's a Valley Metro vehicle. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this. I don't know that I've ever gone this direction with my... wow, it's a loud-ass train. Big old freight train. It's like a diesel locomotive. It's like two of them. That's gonna be a long train. I'm glad I went where it went. So that's the Amazon facility right there on the right. That's where I'm going. But and I've definitely never been there before. If I follow this road all the way, as you can see, let me zoom up. So I'm not walking all the way down there. See, there is an arrow where all traffic has to turn to the left. And if you follow that, that actually goes to the Valley Metro Light Rail Train Yard, which is really neat. It's also private property, so I can't exactly, and it's there's security access, so I can't even walk in there and show you all video of it. But it's neat, and I've been in there as a cab driver. I've had a couple of times where employees of the place, I've been in there as a cab driver where employees of the place have called for cabs, so I had to go in there and pick up. And then I also went in there several times as a lime juicer. Oh, now that's a cool looking graffiti. I like the Tiempo. I can appreciate graffiti like that. Let's make it artistic. Don't make it look like vandalism. Make it look like art. Some empty cars. Guess they got to move around somehow. Yeah, I had several times where I went in there to pick up scooters where apparently employees had ridden Lime scooters to work and left them there, which is the way a Lime scooter is supposed to be supposed to be used. So actually it worked out really nice. Like every time I went there, I just explained who I was and why I was there, and they buzzed me on in. So I'm pretty sure they had a camera and could see me holding my phone, and I was legit. Certainly not going in there to vandalize trains that I use quite a bit. Anyway, I'm here in Amazon. I'm going to stop this. trying to figure out where I'm supposed to return this backpack that Priscilla bought me without asking if I need it. And while I'm here, I'm trying to learn a little something about this facility, because once my 6 months is up to GYR3 and I have received my whole signing bonus, I'm probably put into a transfer for here, because